Today on Grow Up, Level Up Gamers Club, we are talking all about the Switch 2. I got it. It's in my hands, and I'm playing it. And I'm going to share my first 24 hours of it, maybe? We'll talk about that. Welcome to the Grow Up, Level Up Gamers Club.
Hit it.
Pregnant pause there.
Right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Grow Up, Level Up Gamers Club, the weekly podcast where we talk about all the games that you need to know, that you need to play in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. I am one of your hosts, as always, at Samson XP, aka Samson, here to bring you the news of gaming today. And, of course, joining me is always Sir Dr. JM, aka Jordan. Welcome to the podcast, Jordan. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. The other day, my wonderful wife and daughter went to Walmart to get some craft supplies or something and came home with a blind box PlayStation thing for me. And it came with this. It is a keychain of
Is that a
PlayStation
3?
controller. It is a DualShock 3, so technically a PlayStation 3 controller. But check this out. I don't know if you can see this on the video, but the analog sticks move.
That's cute.
And then the buttons are like, clearly it's just like a spring behind all 4 buttons, but they actually like depress down when you push on them. So it's been a great little fidget toy to have at my desk at work. I can pretend like I'm playing a game here. And it's
during your Zoom meetings.
Exactly. It's like I have
That's
either
really cool.
giant hands and a regular controller or a tiny controller. So
Love that. You can pretend you're your boss giving the presentation, and you're like,
That's
gotta
right.
hit the quick time events right, or else I'm not gonna win.
Exactly.
Well, that is pretty cool. Shout out to your wife and kid for gifting
absolutely.
you something very cool. Well, today we are gathered here for a.
We are gathered here today.
Today we gather. What do they say at weddings?
We are gathered here today.
Yeah, we're gathered here today to celebrate the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, which has officially launched in the world on June 5th, 2025. The day we're recording this, actually. Usually these episodes go live a day later, but we are recording this on the day it came out. And what that means is that I have my Switch for less than a day. The original plan is, just for context, I got the Switch pre-order. Jordan did not. Although Mario Kart, I'm sure he's in turmoil. Actually, before we go on, how are you feeling about not having a Switch 2 so far, Jordan?
It's been a wild ride. Definitely got a bit of the FOMO, especially because like I feel like over recent years, console launches just haven't necessarily been this big thing. And I feel like, pardon me, in a lot of ways, I feel like Nintendo did a really good job of kind of building the hype with this launch. And I think a big part of that comes down to what it seems like the supply that they actually made sure retailers had, right? Obviously, people lined up for pre-orders, but everything I'm hearing is that a lot of people lined up on the off chance they might be able to get one. And I haven't really heard about anyone not being able to get their hands on one. Whereas I feel like the PS5, it was, if you didn't have it pre-ordered, why would you go line up, right? Because you just weren't getting one. So I feel like it was a really kind of an event that hasn't happened in a long time. And so definitely I've got a lot of FOMO about that. Again, I think back to the PS5 and I don't know anyone that went and lined up. For me personally, I had mine pre-ordered and I just went and picked it up. Like that was it. I went and picked it up at the store opened at 9 a.m. or whatever, and I went and got it around 9 or 10. Whereas, even in Calgary and in Edmonton here, I was seeing lines down the street at places, right? Lots of people coming out and showing up in droves. So definitely got some FOMO missing out on the midnight launch. So
yeah. Well, the nice thing is that it will still be there when you're able to get the Switch 2. Until then, you can live vicariously through me. Or maybe we can split custody. Maybe I'll give you one Joy-Con just to hold on to for a while.
I'll go out and buy a Joy-Con. We can sync it to your Switch, and then I'll just sit there with the one hand.
Yeah. As I play, you'll pretend to race in Mario Kart.
Just like my mini PlayStation controller, except I'll have a real Joy-Con. Pretend to play on yours.
Like talking a little bit about the stock, I think This is launch day, so it's been literally less than 24 hours as of recording that the Switch has been available for purchase. I do have a little bit of a story of how my purchase went, but throughout today, I saw on even as of now, if you were to go onto Walmart.ca and check what stores in your area have the Switches available, I'm pretty sure you will find like a store near you where you can just pick it up. I think like throughout the day, I was looking on my local subreddit and Twitter and all that, and everyone's saying like, yeah, like there's Switches for pickup at Best Buy if you want them, or at Walmart.
No kidding.
Nintendo did a really good job over delivering, overestimating all the Switches. Well, maybe not overestimating. They knew they need to make this much to beat the scalpers.
Ensuring they had supply.
Yeah. I think the rumor is, and I don't know where this rumor came from, but remember last fall when all the leaks about Switch 2 started coming up, like around September, October? I think that's when they started producing them. That's why all the leaks and schematics all came out. And since then, they've just been pumping them up for the past like 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
And now it's like, yeah, there's an oversupply, which is really cool to see. It's like a nice, it's different from, I see all the Pokemon cards where they can't make enough. They literally can't print enough money. So it's really nice to see that those who want one and can't afford one, like the $6.99 Switch in Canada, can get one. It is quite a bit of a treat.
Right on. I just went to walmart.ca and my area is showing them in stock for only $1,119.99.
Wait,
I'm like,
what?
I'm trying to figure out if this is the bundle, but it doesn't appear to be. So I'm a little bit.
No, it's the scalpers. Apparently, the local Costco here had the bundle.
Right? Oh, really?
Like in store, yeah.
Wow.
So you can go in and pick it up even if you want. So congrats, Nintendo. Very good job.
Yeah,
getting all the Switches out. This console launch, it is a very momentous occasion. Posted a little story about it. But let's go into my story, Jordan.
Let's hear it.
So, like I said, I pre-ordered. My plan was, it was Wednesday night, so I'll go to my Pokemon weeklies, and then I'll head out after. I'll skip the last round so I can get there for 9. Oh,
turns out everyone at Pokemon had the same idea.
I had a couple folks actually I ran into, and it's like, hey, you guys skipped last round too? And then they're like, yeah, we're here. So I get to the mall. I get to the GameStop where I pre-ordered the Switch, and then the line was already, if it's not out the door, it was circling around. There was at least 150 people in the line. How the line worked, it started at the store. It went down one section of the mall. It jumped across to the other side of the wall and then scaled all the way across and then jumped back to the same side the GameStop was on. So it made a big circle and it went right up to the GameStop. So nice. There was a lot of people.
Yeah.
That being said, I've been in really big lines. As long as they keep it moving, it's generally okay. So 9 p.m. rolls around. And then, all right. First person goes in, grabs their Switch, and there's a big applause, right?
And they walked out holding it over their head?
Pretty much. Apparently that person was waiting since 7 a.m.
Oh, my God.
Which, grand scheme of things, not that bad. But, still, to spend a whole day to just sit there. And then a couple of minutes pass, not much movement. And then a second person gets their Switch. That's great.
Yeah.
And then not much movement. And then I check the clock. It's 9:30. And I'm still standing in the same spot that I started on when I got there for 9. So then we start chatting. People start asking. People are peeking into the store. Apparently, only 2 out of the 3 tills were working. So they were a little slow.
Nice.
And then in that 30 minutes, they've gone through 8 people.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, by that math, I'm going to be here till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I made the call around then to be like, okay, well, I don't think I'm going to pick up my Switch today. I have work in the morning. I don't want to stay out until 1 a.m. So I actually went home. get a text from my buddy waiting in line at 12:40 a.m. I was already in bed asleep that he got it and he's heading home now.
Wow.
And that was number 100 something in line.
No
So
kidding.
they were pretty slow. So then today of recording, went to work. For some reason, I didn't have too much of FOMO, like seeing everybody.
Sure.
I was watching Switch 2 streams for sure. I don't need to be
Yeah.
spoiled on Mario Kart or whatever. But I didn't have too much FOMO. I was also really busy. So I think that actually helped. And then I picked up my Switch at 5 p.m. Pacific. And here it is.
Drum roll. Oh, it turned on. Perfect timing. It went, did you?
And then, I mean, it looks like every other Switch out there, right?
Yeah.
It's or like a Switch 2. If you've seen it online, you're not going to get the best quality out of my screen. So then I took it home, did the system transfer, super easy, super fast.
Nice,
I think it took like way less than 30 minutes to transfer the system.
Right.
And then I'd say like with the amount of games and stuff I have, it took about another hour. It definitely took like 30 minutes to download Mario Kart World, which we'll also get into.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was playing. And during that time, you know, I was doing adult things like cleaning out my gym bag, cleaning the table for dinner, prepping dinner stuff, that kind of stuff. So all that time, by now, it was like 6 p.m. No, like 7 p.m. And then I was like, all right, I can finally play my Switch. And I played one Grand Prix of Mario Kart World.
Okay.
And that's
Nice.
it.
Nice.
I also went to the Switch shop and pre-ordered Pokemon Legends. I booted up Pokemon Scarlet to see it, and that kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I've only played 30 real minutes of Switch 2 in my first couple hours with it. But overall, first impressions, really. I mean, it is what it is. It's like a better Switch, a more nicer feeling hardware Switch. I think the very first time I actually picked it up, I did notice it felt thinner. And I think that's because, and I'm using a visual reference here, the newer Joy-Cons are bigger and they have this kind of like an iPhone type of slant, a curve that's a little more ergonomic. So it feels thinner, especially near the ends, which actually does make it a lot more comfortable to hold. So hardware is to be expected, I'd say. Everything is to be expected. That is the Switch. Oh, one more thing. I really like the new magnet system. It's feels way better definitely in the hand, but it also it's fun to I don't know if this is bad for the Switch or whatever, but I'm like flicking the controller on and off.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that all day long.
I know it's a pretty freaky fidget.
Does the Switch itself make a noise when it connects? When the Joy-Con connects?
Yeah, let's see if I can.
Oh yeah, okay. I could faintly hear it. I just wasn't sure if that was the physical noise or if that was a digital noise. But
yeah, a little combination of both. Very similar to the Switch, the Snap, right?
Cool.
Yeah, I'd say it's like hardware wise. People say it's a more adult Switch. I would agree. It's a little sleeker, a little bigger, a little more solid. I don't know if you've held the Switch OLED before, but I would say it's closer to that, where everything's just a little more solid as opposed to a plasticky feeling of the original. But yeah, it just looks very adult. It's black. It's sleeker.
I was gonna say the big thing is like just seeing it, you know, as you hold it up and everything. You know, obviously we've seen whatever influencer and, you know, industry people with it and promotional images and stuff like that. But just seeing it, you know, in an average place in your hands and everything, it looks, like you say, it looks more grown up in some way. It just comes across as sort of slicker and cleaner. And I think, I mean, part of it comes down to just the color, but the overall design, I think they just refined how it looks and everything. I know on one of the unboxing videos I watched, they pulled out the dock and I was impressed with just how sort of, you know, I mean, I know that's one of the big things about it is the whole thing is just rounder and, you know, more smooth, but it looks nice. It looks nicer than the kind of chunky blockiness of the Switch, which, you know, in a lot of ways, probably to be expected. You know, when I think about the 3DS and the original version of that versus where they eventually went with that, it, you know, kind of went the same way, right? Went from these slanted edges and everything and very angular. to just kind of smoothing out the edges.
Mhm.
So hardware wise, it looks premium, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's funny because Nintendo always positioned themselves as a toy company,
Yeah.
but I feel like, especially now, with every iteration of their console, becomes less of a toy and more of like a piece of tech. Which
Yeah.
I guess the Switch is kind of now, like it's a piece of technology, as opposed to something you throw to the kids. But that being said, like kids will still play with this and they'll drop it and smash and all that. But it is to be expected. So, but it does feel like a piece of tech,
Yeah.
as opposed to a toy.
Are you
Yep.
Are you an iPhone user?
Yeah, I got one right here.
And are you a repeat iPhone user, upgrading with various generations and, going from the 14 to the 15 or even the 14 to the 16 and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I've been using iPhones
So
90%, I think.
So you've done the transfer when it comes to getting a new iPhone and transferring your data.
Yeah.
How did the process compare to that? Because I know that Apple has really made that quite easy now, where you can literally just hold the phone over the new one, and then it goes doodaloo, and it starts transferring.
Honestly, I'd say it's like almost as simple as that.
Nice.
Because
okay.
I'll explain through the steps. So I got the Switch, booted it on, had about 70% power.
Sure.
And then it was like, welcome to Switch, whatever, choose your language, choose your time zone. And then it was like a QR code to log into your Nintendo account.
Oh, right.
Or after Wi-Fi, yeah. Logged in, and then it asked, hey, do you want to transfer to an old Switch? And then I was like, sure. Took my old Switch. And then by that point, it's like, I have a system update. The Switch. So I updated it. That was fast. And then on the Switch 2, it said like, hey, go to this menu in your Switch 1, and then we can continue with the update. And I was like, oh, okay, that's easy.
Okay.
I go to the menu. It wasn't like iPhone where they just kind of realize there's a new thing beside them and they get the whole thing started. Not as seamless as that, but but there was literally an option in the Switch 1 called Transfer System to Switch 2.
Okay.
And then after that, they said, hey, plug us both in, and then we'll get started. And it literally just started. Awesome. And it took about 15, 20 minutes.
Right on.
After that, it was, like an exact copy of my old Switch. There was some mumbo jumbo about game, like the game cartridges.
Game data and cartridges. And
the virtual cartridges. They are really leaning into that. And I'm like, okay. I was explaining like, hey, now that your Switch is on Switch 2, all your virtual cartridges are over there too. It's like, all right, okay. Transferred all that. And then after that, did the normal thing of like it just downloads all the games that you had before, redowns everything, but all the save data gets transferred. I mean, my Pokemon save data got transferred, so that's a success. And then after that, I don't think I have any other save data. I guess my Paper Mario is pretty important as well.
Yeah.
But after that, I waited for everything to download. I redeemed my Mario Kart code. Nice. Actually, I don't even know I was going to show the camera because we have the technology.
Oh, I'm excited now. Well, you do that, I'll talk for a minute here.
Sure.
I was curious just because iPhone is probably the one piece of technology that I'm the most familiar with the sort of transfer process for. I knew it wouldn't be as easy because obviously, cell phones have a lot of different technology in them, but I was curious because both the Switch and the Switch 2 do have NFC technology in them, right? That's how amiibos scan into your current Switch.
In the controller, yeah.
Exactly. And I always thought it was so cool, just like such a good design choice where they put the actual NFC reader in the thumbstick on the original Switch. So you hold the amiibo over the thumbstick and it scans it into your game or whatever. And I always thought that was really just a neat design choice. So I was curious if they might use that in some way. I can only assume it's a different sort of level of NFC than what a cell phone has, because obviously with a cell phone you could do, wireless pay and stuff like that. So anyways, I'm glad to hear it was easy. And now I'm kind of sitting here thinking like, I will get a Switch 2 eventually. And I'm a little bit uncertain about, do I transfer my Switch? Because technically we have two Switches in the house. We have an original Switch and then we have a Switch Lite. And we got the Switch Lite when Animal Crossing came out, so that my wife and I could each play Animal Crossing on our own copies. And now my kid plays Animal Crossing on the original Switch, which is where my wife's was. So if she wants to play her Animal Crossing on Switch 2, we'd have to transfer hers. But if the Switch 2 is technically mine, do I want my Animal Crossing on the Switch 2? Is the question. So I'll have to figure that out. But
I think for Animal Crossing specifically as well, I think there's like a separate island transfer tool.
yes, and I know even now, if you get a new Switch 1, before the Switch 2, if you wanted to, there's a whole process to transfer your island and everything. Annoying like that. So anyways, I'd have
weird
to
Nintendo decisions.
Yeah.
Anyways, with the first time setup, super seamless though. Overall, 10 out of 10.
Good.
10 out of 10. Can't
10
complain. 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10 if they if I just downloaded faster and I blinked and it was ready to go.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and then I downloaded Mario Kart first thing. I had to redeem the code manually. Like there's no camera on this thing. Like I'm so used to just scanning a QR code or scanning the code of those Apple gift cards and it's ready to go. So I had to type it in like a Neanderthal.
Like a pleb.
And then, I was into a Mario Kart World.
All right. Is this your Switch 2 connected and everything?
Yeah, to my computer. So take a peek into what my Switch is. I literally haven't played anything.
It is so very similar to the Switch 1. It's like Switch 1 but darker basically.
And rounder. Like
and
a
slightly
lot
rounded. I like this graphical thing they got going on to highlight what you are selecting or what you are hovering over.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's like it's like for the audio listeners, it's pretty much like a flowy, like on the new iPhones with the AI, the fake border thingy. It's kind of like that. It's like wavy.
Yeah.
I just hopped into Mario Kart. It was pretty much what I expected.
Sure. Yep.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say like anything is mind blowing because it's very much Nintendo really needed to do this update or hardware update for so long, and now it's finally happened, and now it is here. Sorry, the music's a little loud, so I'm trying to turn it down on my end.
We cannot hear it on our end.
Oh, really?
That's okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's fine. But as you can see, I played as the cow last. Of course, we have to do the cow first.
Cow, yeah.
Which brings me to my first funny
complaint. Is it that his name is in fact Cow?
That's not my complaint, but I will put that as a complaint.
Okay.
No, man. Like, look at this. Look at the dumpy on this cow. How do I zoom in? Is there a way to zoom in? No, I don't want to delete. I don't know how to zoom in.
Thumbsticks, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, snap. All right, let's do it. This is the first thing I noticed for our audio listeners. Come to YouTube.
Or
first thing I noticed.
I don't know if you want to.
Is I picked a cow, I picked a bike, and I'm like, all right, let's just get a racing. And I noticed the cow's butt clips into the motorcycle in such a way that it looks like it just has a bigger butt. I'm like, is this my main? Just look at this funny cow butt the whole time. But then I started Mario Kart. I would say it's very much Mario Kart.
Right.
Looks a lot nicer, feels just like Mario Kart 8, which was fun. I am a little rusty, definitely crashed a lot, which was surprising.
Let's see one of these 30-second clips.
Yeah, I wonder what I clipped.
If it's not too loud on your end.
No, it's good. So I'm just showing some of the clips I had on that I had on stream. Is there really no sound coming out?
Correct. No sound on the
unlucky
video version.
Then I'm just
did Donkey just dab at the start of that race?
Yes, he did. He did dab.
Dabbing Donkey. Cheese? Oh, those are not cheeses. Those are snack boxes.
Like those lunch bags. So the disappointing thing is Cow doesn't have any other...
oh, really?
Oh, yes. I remember why I clipped this one. Oh, hold on. I'm going back.
Must have been for the Donkey dab.
No, it was at the end here. So the physics of this game is very interesting because... when you hit things, you don't just crash, hard stop, and then start again. There's actually a little bit of drifting. How do I pause? So if you're watching the video clip, we're getting to the nitty gritty of Mario Kart World now. If you want all the features and stuff, there's other YouTube videos for that. I'm just giving my first impressions. But if you're watching the video, I'm drifting as the cow, and then I get hit by a car, came out of nowhere. My cow motorcycle slides on its side, and he gets up right away. There's like no... I don't hard stop. Yeah, it doesn't stop. I like keep my momentum and I keep going. And I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. I was really surprised. What else did I clip here?
Yeah, I think traditionally in Mario Kart or in Mario Kart 8 or Deluxe, you hit something and you do that kind of pop in it
Yep.
and stop where you bounce in place for a second.
Yes, 100%. And then you like don't. Yeah, and then you have to like accelerate
you start
again.
going again.
But this one, I like hit a wall and I just kept going. Let's see what this clip is.
Very
Oh,
interesting.
I think the animation is just funny. It zooms into the cow. Yeah,
and some teats.
I believe
Those
this
are
clip.
udders.
There's something interesting that happened here. Oh, similar with the
See
momentum.
the bike slipping and sliding.
I fall off the map. I'm like, oh, whoops, whiffed it there, and I stick to the wall and I keep going. That was really weird. And then I fell off properly. But that honestly, like freaked me out. That I stopped racing and I was like, whoa! I did not know I could do that. Yeah, so I was drifting and then I took the corner too tight. I did a weird trick and I started sticking to the wall and kept racing. And I jumped off, freaked out, and I lost it. So I was like, oh, okay.
So you could have, if you had gone up, you might have gone back onto the track. Very cool.
Well, I was thinking that if I just stayed attached to the wall, I wonder if I would have just wrapped around the bottom there. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. So lots to discover in this Mario Kart. Like I said, I only did one Grand Prix, so like 4 races. The course I did was just the mushroom one, literally just level 1.
The first one.
I was like, yeah, very interesting. And the cool thing is it brought over all my weird Pokemon screenshots from the last game too. So that's nice.
Yeah, great. Now I can have 1,000 accidental screenshots that my child has taken on my Switch when she accidentally pushes the screenshot button without realizing it.
Exactly. But so I'm excited to play my Mario Kart World. Definitely, this is what I'm going to be playing most this weekend. And then I think I'll do that thing where I said I'll finish Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm at the Elite Four. I don't know if you noticed though. I'm just going to do a live test right now. So we're in Mario Kart. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go to Pokemon. Let's see how fast this loads.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I slowed down my counting just a little bit. This is 11, 12.
To make sure
13.
I'm mashing A to try to get through it all.
I'm following the timer on the recording. So are we in?
See. I pressed the A button and
it's too bad because I did lose track, but I think we're at like 25, 26.
But I'm in. I switched a whole game and now I'm in Pokemon.
I'd say because we had to go through title screens, publisher screens, and everything like that, I'd say that was pretty quick. Like loading wise, it didn't feel like it had to load for an immense amount of time at all.
Yeah.
And look at those Slowpokes. A Golduck.
Look at him go.
Oh, some Gyarados jumping in.
I noticed the recording's only at 30 FPS, but I'm looking at a silky 60 right now.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I've seen the videos.
It looks freaky.
Yeah,
it honestly looks very freaky.
So many Pokemon. Game. I didn't know Slowpoke could swim, to be honest with you.
Hey, look, he's a little sashimi. I'm gonna try catching him.
Why is he on grass? Isn't that a water Pokemon?
It's a good question.
Not only a water Pokemon, it is literally a fish.
Yeah, swimming away. So that's really impressive.
Yeah.
I also downloaded the GameCube stuff, and when I tried to open it, it said I need Nintendo Online.
Oh, you don't have Nintendo Online?
No.
Subscription?
No. I did not.
Gosh.
I did not know you needed. Well, I knew you needed the online, but I think this one needs the expansion pack, which is
that is true. That is true.
I'll consider it. I'll see. I'm not hankering to play old GameCube games, but there are some I'm like curious about, like Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. I know. Maybe I'll touch on that when that comes out. Yeah, that's the Switch too. Like, I don't know if there's much else to chat about for it because it's just a Switch 1, but a lot nicer.
Did you only get the Switch 2? Did you get a second set of Joy-Cons, Pro Controller, anything else?
So I was considering the Joy-Cons, but I think I'm going to wait until they release some nicer colors. I'm actually surprised they only released it in the black and the accent colors here, which was kind of disappointing, to be honest.
Did the original Switch launch with alternate colors?
It came because the
Oh,
original Switch had two SKUs. It had the one with the red and blue Joy Cons, and then it had the one
the gray.
with just the gray for
Right.
the mature people.
Right.
So yeah, this one was just the one. I guess if you want the Mario bundle, you got the Mario bundle. But yeah, there wasn't another color. I guess I'll wait until they release more colors for the Switch 2,
Yeah.
and then I'll get into it.
Sure,
As
it
for
must
games,
be holiday season or something.
yeah, probably. Yeah, let everybody get it first. Let everybody's wallet recover a little bit first.
That's right.
Or at least mine. For games, actually, I'm really interested in Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay. Have you
I
played?
Yeah, I played a couple hours of it, maybe like 10. I didn't get too deep into it when it came out. I got it on PC, and at the time my PC was not powerful enough to run it.
Okay.
Plus, the game had a lot
bad.
of bugs. Yeah, yeah. So I kind of fell off from that, but it's been like 5 years since then. They've optimized it. My computer's upgraded now, and it is kind of silly because like, oh, I could just play the PC copy, which I actually don't know if I can because it was on some weird third party. But not like weird in a sketchy way.
It's not a weird third. It's GOG. It's good old games.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not sketchy. It's a legitimate business.
But I don't know if I want to play it on the computer because it's like
if you could play it on the
FPSs. Go. Yeah, right. I could play it on the go. I could play it on the TV. I think that's the only way I'll really finish RPGs is if I'm able to touch them once in a while, take it with me out. So that's the only game I'm considering right now. I'm probably gonna skip Donkey Kong. Just I love the man, but I don't really care much for his games. And then I guess we'll just see what piques my interest. I'll see what else comes out. Have they talked more about what else is coming out for the Switch 2?
I mean, yes and no. Of course, we know things like Metroid Prime 4 are coming. That's the only one jumping out at me right now.
Hold up. Ooh, Hogwarts Legacy is one that I missed.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom have not finished yet.
Oh, okay.
I should probably get that going.
See, and I was gonna say, I mean, for me personally, Mario Kart. Again, I've gone on record with saying Mario Kart is one of the two franchises on a Nintendo console that would get me to buy day one if the stars aligned. And by that I mean those are the two franchises, and Animal Crossing and Mario Kart. For me, those are my Nintendo go-tos. But of course, there is the fact that we have optimized performance or increased performance with many existing Switch games on the Switch 2. And for me, the only Zelda game I have played is Wind Waker. And at that, I have played maybe a few hours. So if I were to get a Switch 2, I would strongly consider... I don't know. I would consider Tears of the Kingdom. I would also consider Breath of the Wild because I haven't played either of them. And I know a lot of people say, Tears of the Kingdom is the better of the two, but Breath of the Wild had that discoverability that, this is your first time in a real open world Zelda game. So a lot of people look more fondly on Breath of the Wild. But for me, as a newcomer who's never played either of them, if I get a Switch 2, I might be tempted to just jump in with Tears of the Kingdom and see how I like it. So
yeah, I think with Tears, the story keeps it going. There's just more systems. There's a lot of empty space in Breath of the Wild. Sure. Tears kind of fills it with stuff to do, which is kind of nice. Are there any games that you are interested in that are coming up for the Switch 2 or Switch in general, I guess?
Well, I was just looking up a bit of a list because I was the more I thought about it, I was like, I did the Switch 2 or feel like there's a lot announced. And so did a little bit of Googling. And sure enough, there aren't a lot announced, actually. I mean, the two from Nintendo are, of course, Mario Kart releasing now. And the only other one that I could find that is out now is the Welcome Tour, the $10, Astro's Playroom knockoff.
Yeah.
And I don't suppose you picked that up, did you?
No, that is a hard no from me. If it was free, I would be like, okay, yeah.
That's how I feel too. I feel like makes a lot of sense. I remember, even the Vita had like a built-in one of those things, and it was just pretty straightforward and easy to, it was free. So, and I remember it was confusing. It doesn't matter. Vita was awesome, but that was not. But in my search to find other games that are out now, I found an interesting one that I'm curious if you even knew about, because I don't think I had heard about this. But the cover did pique my interest. It is a game called Survival Kids. Have you seen or
Oh,
heard of this?
very funny you mentioned that.
Oh,
I
okay.
I had this open because
Mm,
I actually had the page open while we were podcasting today,
perfect.
because my buddy, Mr. Travis Anderson, concept artist,
Sup,
did the
Travis?
concept art on this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
hilarious.
he was sharing today. I guess the NDA was up. He was like, "Hey, the game I did some concept art on called Survival Kids is out." And I'm like, "Oh, I did hear
Right
about this
on.
on one of the trailers or whatever."
That's
So
wicked.
yeah, that's really funny. I didn't look that much too deep into it. It did look like a crafting survival game. It's in the name, but it's got a cool aesthetic. Looks like it has a lot of unique systems or visually interesting
Mhm.
systems. Haven't looked into it, but yeah, did you find out more info about it? Like, what kind of game is it?
I did. I had never heard of this game or series before. And the more I read about it, the more interesting that gets. So let me read you a quick blurb on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you've pulled up on the video for the video watchers. You've pulled up the Nintendo website with a few images of Survival Kids.
Mm-hmm.
One nice thing is it is a quote unquote discount game at only $66.90.
Ridiculous.
Um, which, hey, at least it's not 110. But Survival Kids is actually a 1999 survival game developed and published by Konami for the Game Boy Color. This is the latest entry in the series. So this is actually the only new third-party game in the Switch 2's opening lineup. And then reading from, I think it was theguardian.com, the only review or preview I could find of this game, that starts off, it's the latest in the publisher's cult series of tropical island survival sims, which began on the Game Boy Color and, despite never really attracting vast global success, continued on to the Nintendo DS under a new name, Lost in Blue. Now it's back as a family-friendly co-op survival adventure in which groups of up to 4 players are shipwrecked on a mysterious archipelago and must survive by gathering resources, crafting tools, finding food, and exploring a series of lush, cartoonish environments. 4 people can play online, but the game also supports Switch 2's game sharing, which lets one person who owns the game connect wirelessly with other consoles to play together. I believe that is locally only.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in any case, having never heard this game, I saw the image of it, and I was like, "Hey, this actually looks kind of cool." I certainly don't. I don't mind this. I find I'm really drawn to these kind of, light cartoony style, almost, in the vein of an Animal Crossing or a, Harvest Moon type looking games. And obviously, a lot of those games have a lot of the cozy genre crossover. But a lot of them also these days have their roots in survival and crafting, which I always think is a fun sort of hook to a game. So, anyways, I'm interested in this. Pretty cool that it used to, it started on the Game Boy Color, and
It
I've
was
never
doing
heard
the
of this,
whole
but
survival crafting thing before it was cool.
totally.
Before Minecraft. That's actually really interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on this. The game sharing thing is pretty cool. The
Yeah,
challenge is
always
now
handy.
finding 3 other people that have a Switch 2.
That
Or
have a
does it work
Switch
on
2.
Switch 1? Maybe it works on Switch 1.
I don't
Uh,
know, but
good. Yeah, that'll be interesting. But
yeah.
good to know. Good poll. I want to say one more thing about upcoming games. Pokemon Legends. That's
Sure.
probably but that's not till October. So
Yes. Yeah.
long ways away.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of launch lineup, like that's the thing is it's Mario Kart and Welcome Tour for now. In a month, I think we have Donkey Kong, and then I think October is the only other thing we know about is Pokemon Za. So a little bit light on that side of things, but hey, maybe a chance to catch up on some third-party games you missed. You shouted out a couple earlier, and of course, Nintendo, I'm sure, is banking on people jumping in finally to some of those great games that they missed that people might have missed on the Switch one. So
yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. I'll have to go through what games I actually own on Switch, see what I want to go back to. But priority, gotta play Mario Kart World, unlock everything and all that, or at least try all the modes. Part of the fun of unlocking is unlocking with people. So, and then I'll finish Pokemon Scarlet. I don't think I'm gonna touch the DLCs. It's just a lot extra time. And then I'll get into Tears of the Kingdom. I'll finish it. See how that looks.
fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that is literally my first 30 minutes with the Switch 2. Maybe 3 hours if you include the setup time and the time I had to make dinner. We'll have more impressions next week. I'll announce this now, but next week we are bringing on fellow podcaster from Respawn Aim Fire, Cozy Bear, fellow Canadian as well. He's from Montreal. He's coming on to talk about his Switch 2. After having it for a week or so, I think we'll have a little bit more impressions and notes to talk about, and hopefully it doesn't make Jordan's FOMO worse. But you know what? We're beta testing it for Jordan. He's going to be an expert by the time he gets it, and he's going to know all the ins and outs and all that.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us this week on Grow Up, Level Up Gamers Club. If you want to find me at Samson XP on all the socials. Leave a comment below on this video about what you think of the Switch 2. If you got yours, what your midnight release story is, if you even did that. Don't forget to subscribe and follow at Grow Up, Level Up. Jordan, if people want to find you, where can people find you?
People can find me on all socials at SirDRJM. And one thing I realized that I never say when I do put out my handles there is you can also add me on the major gaming platforms at the same handle, SirDRJM. That's Sir Dr. JM. That is my PlayStation Network ID, which I believe now is just called a PSN. That was a big throwback. And that is what I am on Steam as well, I believe. That's what I am on Twitch. Like Nintendo still uses friend codes, so I can't be that over there. And God, yeah, right. If anyone has their friend code memorized, I applaud you. I think I even managed to secure that over on Xbox. It took a little finagling because I wasn't originally that over there, but then I did. I believe I did get my name over there. But of course, I don't play on Xbox really, so I did it just to secure the name. But, yeah. So, anyways, add me on like PlayStation and stuff like that, and Steam and such like that, and I'm happy to have more friends. So,
squad up with Jordan.
That's right.
Well, yeah. At Grow Up, Level Up on all the socials if you want to hear us yap week by week on what we think you should be putting in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. What games you should be putting in your 5 to 9 after 9 to 5. If you enjoy other things, go ahead. But we're here to talk about video games. For me, next week, I'm going to be playing a lot of Switch 2 for research for the podcast. Of course. For Jordan, more specifically. And if you have any questions leading up into next week, definitely write in. Just write in the comments, message me on Instagram. That way Cozy and I can answer it next week. I'm sure Jordan will have a lot more questions for us next week as well. So as we close out this podcast, I always like to ask Jordan to give us some wise words, if he's got any today. I don't know what will beat the Kingdom Hearts poster last week. That was insane.
It's sitting on the floor, and I did think about putting it up in the background of my shot here.
Yeah.
But I didn't because I didn't want to take away from the Switch 2's launch. So maybe next week it will be in the background. We'll see. I might have a giant Woody while we record. We'll see. Just saying.
I love it.
I'm sure Cozy Bear will like that. So anyway, my only words of wisdom this week: if you are out there hitting the streets trying to either get a Switch 2 or unlock characters in Mario Kart, I'll just say happy hunting.